Hi everyone, this is Andre. This is another Toggl weekly report. This time I'm definitely going to try to make it more concise instead of speaking for 18 minutes. So let's just get right into week number 44. So first of all, my new report starts from Saturday, as I mentioned in the last week. The reason for that is so that I can finish my week on Friday and then record this video on Saturday, do the edit on Sunday and release it on Monday. I think it would be much better for everyone if these videos, kind of like a self-evaluation of my last week, would be shared with everyone on Monday. So that's when we start kind of like the fresh new week. So that's the reason for that. Second thing that you will notice here is that I have a lot more categories here. Did restructure the way I track my time, and basically it means that I moved the creative projects up a level. So now there are not projects, now there are clients, so that I can also see the summary of the time underneath those categories. So that wasn't possible before, and that's one of the limitations of Toggl, is that it cannot group the same entries which have just the same text. So, and by same text I mean this part here. So even though I always enter the same thing, for example here reading, I cannot group it on this level. You can only group the reports and get the calculated time on the project level and on the client level. So going back to the report, let's just have a look at my last week. So admin, I spent a lot of time here on stream admin. And so what stream admin means this time is basically I was setting up my new laptop that I got last week, and I'm very, very happy about it. And that's the reason why you are watching this video in 1080p, and you can finally actually read all the little text that I have here on my desktop. So I spend a lot of time setting everything up, but it's working great. So this number will definitely reduce over time. Community, that just commenting on social media posts. I think this is one lady tagged me on Twitter, so I was trying to find out what it was about. Creating, so here we have beautiful breakdown of the creative work, which before that was all grouped under one project. So I didn't see how much time I spent on the podcast, how much time I will spend on these weekly videos, how much time I will spend later on the bigger videos that I do. For example, like I did the educational video about Toggl. So here you can see that for editing, I spent quite some time. So that's at least 5 hours last week. For planning, so this is TLP planning, so that's the localization podcast. 2 hours. That basically means going over the social media posts, selecting the articles, and maybe going through them quickly to see if I could talk about them on the podcast. Promotion. Promotion to me means kind of something like I was calling this podcast release in the previous categorization, and it basically means uploading the finished product after editing onto YouTube, doing the whole copywriting, doing the thumbnails, and then the social media stuff. So it is actually quite a lot of time. It's 8 hours. That's basically one work day. I'm not even sure if this is correct. Maybe I did something wrong, because the reason why you're seeing these new things is that I had to bulk edit all the entries that I did last week using my old system. So maybe in the bulk edit, some of the things were assigned a wrong category. So health, this is again a new thing. I think this is much better than I had it before. So how much time I spent towards my health, which of course is definitely important. So not much explanation here. Job, nothing changed there. Learning, again, this is something that I changed a little bit. And you can see that I spent 9.5 hours listening to podcasts. And that's definitely just Tim Ferriss. So this is usually related to when I'm commuting or when I'm walking to somewhere, so that I do at least something that's good for my brain and for my future, instead of just listening to the music. So you can see like the time actually ramps up. No value, that's a lot. 16 hours watching bullshit. I think that on Saturday, this is also related to relationships. So I did some relationship time with my colleagues. And so my colleague had a housewarming party. And after that, I was feeling, I think I came back home like at midnight or 1 a.m. And of course, I didn't want to do any work at that time. So I was watching the new Fast and Furious. And then the day after, I was definitely watching something else as well. I already forgot. And that's maybe another tip that I want to give. So tip number 2 would be to, when you have like a good momentum, let's say you start your day and you start working right away and you build that good productive momentum, don't interrupt with too many long breaks, and especially like don't get too lazy, because then coming back after the break and kind of like regaining the momentum will be very difficult. So maybe take a smaller break, 5-10 minutes, maybe max half an hour, but then get right away into the productive mode, because otherwise, if you get too lazy, then I think it's very difficult to go back and do something creative. Relax. So I'm moving music from no value to relax. Sometimes I actually do feel like I really don't want to like listen to even like a podcast, even though it's like a passive consumption. I just really want to like listen to the music and try to be more present. Yeah, that could be one of the important things for me. And also, I think maybe I was mentioning it in the last weekly report, is that I feel like I need to dedicate some time to actually relaxing. So that's the reason why I have this category here. I don't want to put too many things there, because otherwise it could give like the impression that I'm doing something relaxing, like recharging my batteries, while it's just no value. So for example, like watching bullshit, although it kind of is like a relaxing, I think it's still like a no value for me. But with music, it's just like I listen to music usually like in smaller pieces here and there when I walk, and when I don't feel like I want to listen to anything educational anymore. So I'm putting it here. Sleep, that's pretty much the usual thing. And survival. So survival, I changed. I think I had house admin or personal admin as survival. And getting ready, definitely. So here I split it into cleaning around the house, cooking, personal hygiene, so to be specific, and getting ready. So getting ready for work and getting ready for others. So getting ready for work is pretty self-explanatory. So this is something that I have to do Monday to Thursday, and I'm actually surprised that it takes that much time. It's 2.5 hours. And this is also related to the commute. So technically, if I didn't have to commute and go to the office every day, I would save a lot of time. 2.5 hours here, and a lot of the commute also goes to the podcast listening. So that's the report for the last week.